basically, what I was saying is, like, Nintendo has all these backups and the whole stolen ROM thing. First of all, I believe they had actually hired one of those, like, emulator makers. And some people said if they hired him and he was using his emulator code as a base, it's like, you might as well. And even then...
Now, to be fair, I can still somewhat see some people having a problem with that. Because even though it is you're working for the official, like, company now, or whatever, there's that just general thing about, you know, not, like, using certain ROMs for commercial use in any way. Like, that Capcom plug-and-play home arcade thing that's a giant gaudy-ass Capcom logo, it was only ever released in Europe. I don't believe it was even released in Japan. It was, like, literally only Europe. America or Japan never got it. And the reason for that is because one of the people who worked on that was someone who made a bunch of, like, Capcom CPS2 ROMs for, like, a Fightcade, and literally used those Fightcade ROMs in that basically device, and that broke their agreement of, even though this is technically licensed by Capcom, the people who worked on those agreed we are never going to sell these for commercial use, and thus they technically, in a roundabout way, ended up selling them for commercial use. Even though it was because Capcom literally paid the man to do it.
And even then, the whole thing way
but
back...
my point is, because there was a controversy about that type of thing, even if the person was hired by the company, I could maybe see it because of a similarity like that. That and the other thing, which is we brought this up so many times, I want you to actually, like, edit on screen the, like, article or whatever that confirms or proves this. A bunch of...
I might have to go take a pee break in a minute.
A bunch of old... like, ROMs, NES ROMs that are used from an old-ass NES emulator. People talk about how those, like, the ROMs in Animal Crossing are the same as those. So people are like, oh, Nintendo took, like, ROMs from the internet. It's the exact opposite. The guy who designed those ROMs for Animal Crossing, after leaving the company, basically took...
He ran off, and I believe for... the NES Mini, they just contracted a fan sort of group that did ROM stuff, and people defending that's like, I'm probably about to go pee in a second though. Alright. Good lord.
Good lord, what is happening in there?
Went to use the bathroom, got my drink and everything. So... basically, the whole, like, stolen NES bullshit for the NES Mini, apparently...
I thought the NES Mini was also just them reusing those, like, old ROMs they had, so...
Some people said the NES Mini was contracted for this one guy, and because it was, like, using his code base, that's why it had a header. But people think Nintendo stole ROMs? Okay, I think you have to go. God damn it. I'll just do this in this chapter. The autograph, I think I have to go tell the... I believe it's, tell the penguin guy, you solved the mystery. So back we go, god damn it. It's just...
Even the train has backtracking.
He was right here. It's not that bad. Solve the mystery, you dum-dum. What?
It looked like it was an autograph.
Conductor Kim.
This smells like a new mystery.
Okay.
So you have to go to the conductor then.
I believe the Switch version adds a few extra triggers to things, which I think is fine. My whole point that I was rambling about was I just find it funny that this Like,
Especially because you people act like only Nintendo does this. You know, if there was an emulator for the Xbox One and PS4, Sony and Microsoft would be doing the exact same thing.
I just wanted to also... No! It was the guy at the bag, but I just wanted to see what he said, because he has some dialogue. Okay. Can jump around. That's the whole thing with all of that. It's just so funny, because I'm sorry, even these YouTubers I kind of respect, you sound like entitled whiny babies. And the unfortunate reality in the way the world works, just because Nintendo or whoever hasn't released a game in 20 years doesn't suddenly mean you're owed that video game. But then you have to earn. But if we don't get the game, and like Congress doesn't force Nintendo to make the game available for download, it could be lost to time. Yeah, blanket short. Okay, I know what this is. Call me blanket PI. Oh, I'm glad they left that exactly as it was. That's a good one.
It's one of those I'm amazed they, left that in, because it's a reference to the, like Magnum.
It's a indirect reference to Magnum PI, but like a PI is just
a PI is short for private investigator. But remember, they also took out the like Bruce Lee reference in the Switch version of Mario RPG. I forgot it's Car 4.
Yeah, there's a ghost in Car 4, because 4 is the number of death in Japan.
It sounds like a death.
So you found me. Did you see I'm a ghost? Cursed to haunt this place. A blanket. Conductor didn't leave one here. He didn't realize that I'm a ghost. No mistaken threat. No, I left such thing. Can't even hold physical objects like a pen and paper. Just want the blanket. If you do something for me. That don't help ghost. That's great. All I need is your life.
I thought he said. Didn't he say your soul?
I think he said your soul on GameCube. Nah, just kidding. I passed away in this cabin many years ago.
That's fucked up.
But I think my luggage is still in the baggage car here. So my bag is a diary I kept since my earliest childhood days. My fear is if someone would find it and read it, is kept me tied to this world. I can't leave this room, so can you please find it? Like, really, man? I was a cringe-ass teenager. Oh God, that's gonna bind me to the motor.
I just imagine Mario. Don't worry, bud. We all were.
Let's be real here. Yeah, don't you dare read my diary.
Because if you do...
Hard for me to read you. Let's be real here. It probably has some embarrassing shit in it.
That embarrassing photo of SpongeBob at the Christmas party.
Yeah. As I said, I was going to jump around for like an hour. You're not owed anything. And while preservation is great, tons of things are preserved. They're just preserved in private. And you're just mad that you can't access certain things. And that's just entitlement. That's all it is.
What?
A ghost? Eek. Won't give you the blanket unless you find his diary from the baggage car. Go in! Don't say no to ghosts!
Oh, like the whole 4 death thing is a common one because it comes up a lot. Because I believe in Japanese the number 4 is she, which is awesome.
Oh, that's a change. It's in the treasure chest.
Where was it in the...
It was right here, but it was just sitting behind the boxes. It wasn't in a treasure chest. They put it in a chest.
to make it easier to find any. Like, the 4 death thing, that's the common one people bring up. But there are a few others people don't bring up. Like, because of that, if I remember correctly, I think it was in Japanese, I believe also Chinese as well. A lot of, like, hospitals in Asia will not have a, like, room 43 because I believe it's 43 sounds like miscarriage.
Yes.
So, they don't have, they commonly won't
If
have
we're gonna
a...
shift topics for a second, it's just a fun little Japanese thing.
Yes.
Room number 4, and it's the spooky ghost. Did you find my diary? Place it in the drawer.
So because
Oh,
of that-
that's a different change. You don't just hand him the diary. He said place it in the drawer.
I guess that does make sense because he just a minute ago said he can't even hold a pen and paper, so it's like handing it to him wouldn't make any sense.
Blanket's right here.
If he can't hold physical objects. And also,
Very wise not to read my diary.
I'm pretty sure it's probably still a thing. You actually could in the menu read.
Oh no, you can read it.
But
And if you read it, he kills you.
I was going to
Except
say,
they up the production value. It's a lot more elaborate and murdery.
Of course it is.
No, you can still read it. You can still get a game over. I'm just not wasting time for that. Oh, we never meeting again in this world. Fare thee well.
Hey, at least the lights from the top.
Ew. Well, actually, maybe not. I've been here so long, getting kind of used to it. Wood paneling's so great, maybe I'll stay a little while longer. I can leave whenever, so that's all there is to it. Oh.
Isn't that how one of the souls becomes a hollow in Bleach if they stay attached to an area for too long?
The Bleach is literally... No, if you're attached to an area too long with lingering regrets, he has no regrets. He can just leave.
Oh, okay.
No, he said I can leave whenever. No, his regret was the diary. But it's back in his possession.
God, like they use the just random.
No,
like,
I think we finally go to bed.
They use the random like souls being attached to an area that was used for so much filler in Bleach.
God damn it.
I believe now because you got the answer to the penguin now, because you got the answer out the blanket, you talk to the penguin here.
Probably. I think this version of the game added some extra flags, but I never fully remember this damn chapter anyway.
Fake fan. Yeah.
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 It was a ghost.
You're delusional. Do you have the papers? Oh wait, no, I'm an idiot. I just remembered we never gave him the blanket back. He just tried to go to bed. I'm an asshole.
Ooh, nice blanket for me to use.
Yeah, I'm dumb.
Man is so happy to receive that blanket because it's the Toad, like, woo animation.
I'm actually curious. Can I use it if it...
Yes?
Good. Yeah. Okay. Now.
Because remember, with the, like, fresh juice and stuff, some items don't just heal you, they have other effects, so they're still
Yes, but that was just healing. Ow. The supers are 10, but the thing is, the supers are 10, but I only have 5 hit points, and I'm not going to be using my party that much, because this is Danger motherfucking Mario. I love Danger so much. Now we'll go to bed.
If the best way to play the game effectively skips the combat, is the game well designed? Because this is the best way to play the game.
Yeah.
This kind of shows you its
Go
problems.
to bed. Yeah, go to bed for the night. It'll low transition.
Day 2.
Day 2. Okay.
Day 3. Day 4. Can you hurry this up? I'm
All the time cards.
It was so long, the old narrator got tired of waiting, and they had to hire
a
a
new
new
one.
one. I'm kind of busy, you asshole. Mario, where the fuck are you? Train.
Timing in the pickle. Mr. Businessman, please explain the fact to my assistant Luigi. Here's the detail. Woke up this morning, my briefcase was gone. Contains all the contracts for our next deal and even our new product prototype. If I don't recover, I'll lose my job at the least. Next part's vital. The next part's vital, so tell Luigi very slowly, but in Book of Mario, this gets translated as, like, tell Luigi he's very slow. Company's new product is Nitro Honey Syrup. Used properly, it's an amazing product that can even raise the dead.
What the fuck?
But if mixed with the calcium from a seashell and a bit of gold, well, the results are explosive.
On a nitro honey syrup, and he said that it can be explosive. Is that the inspiration for Obama honey? I never thought about that. Is that why Bug Fables has the, like...
Probably. The resulting blast would immobilize everyone in a sticky yet yummy.
Well, technically Obama honey's the enemy. The one item is the abomination.
Yes. Which is a further thing where you were told never mix honey with honey.
Yes.
Because if you mix honey with honey...
You get Obama honey.
Yes. And then if you make that with the one bomb, you get the abomination.
I love that pun.
Yeah. Thief is still on the train.
I love that. A pun. Like bombardier.
Yes.
I wish that thing was more useful.
Mm-hmm.
Payload never did shit.
Good old Payload. He had Payload, and Payload never did anything in those competitive battles.
Which is funny, because that thing literally has all the tools it needs, where you have the ability that gives you Rock Stab, and you get Rock Slide, but it also gets Hone Claws, meaning you could set up with Hone Claws, and then you have Knock Off, Wing Attack, no, not Wing Attack, Dual Wing Beat, and Rock Slide. And Hone Claws fixes the accuracy problem of 2 of those. But everything else about this Pokémon is garbage. Garbage.
Mm-hmm.
I do like the idea of it being a negative Stork, because the funny thing is, Storks, despite the fact that, like, they're associated with the whole, you know, baby, that's where babies come from thing, Storks in nature are assholes. Like, do not look up storks in nature. I believe they regularly...
Oh, I guess they actually... guess you do actually have to talk to Toodles and the waitress. Huh.
So they changed it.
Shell earrings that my ex-boyfriend gave me. Full of memories and stuff. Really needed that. Please? It's fine. Oh yeah, fat guy. My whole thing.
Fools, while you were sucking up everything like a fat
boy at the Golden Corral, I absorbed all the store power in the universe and became God. There's Toodles.
He technically breaks the trend of, like, all his roads being something T.
Yes.
Which is a towel that took me way too long to realize, oh, the T is for
For Toad, yes. Kevin won? Oh, wait, yeah, Zip Toad. Oh, wait, I remember everything now.
It's
but
all coming together.
Hold on, God, I'm dumb. I do this every time. They didn't fully change it, but if you talk to them directly about the seashells and stuff, that does more clearly set up returning those, which I think is fine. You need the paper, and then, yeah, wait, I'm an idiot. I remember everything now. I do every time.
They could have made a change where you need to talk to the other people now, and it's not just the paper that you need. They could have done that.
Never stop with the proceeds,
because
this is what you need.
What you need.
Here you go, man. It's time for the question of the day and my overall thoughts on the topic. So, anyway, how many of you actually think that Nintendo stole the ROMs and sold stolen ROMs on the eShop back in the day? First off, Nintendo owns those games, so they can do what they want with those games, even if they downloaded ROMs from the internet. The person who uploaded the ROMs is still technically in the wrong. The problem is it's actually hard to find concrete proof that Nintendo technically didn't steal those ROMs, but at the same time, it seems like that one developer of that one NES emulator was temporarily working at Nintendo, so it seems like he used a lot of his source code and stuff in order to basically make a logical code base for the emulator running in Animal Crossing. And it also seems like he might have ran off with the ROMs intended for Animal Crossing, and that would also explain a lot. But a lot of people also thought that maybe Nintendo basically used an emulator as a base in order to somewhat come to the same type of conclusion, because they were struggling with emulating NES games at the time. So Nintendo, looking at other code bases and doing similar nonsense, actually makes a lot of sense. But it seems like the one guy worked at Nintendo because he was temporarily hired, and it seems like he used a lot of his own code, and it also seems like he ran off with ROMs Nintendo had, because people were acting like this proves that Nintendo lost all of their NES games. And that would basically prove that the only reason Nintendo could sell you NES games on the Wii was because they basically downloaded ROMs that someone uploaded online, and people tried to use this as proof that piracy is not piracy and that it is preservation and archival, because people would swing this around as a fact, like, oh, Nintendo would not have been able to sell you NES games if it wasn't for the pirates they hate. And I'm doing air quotes to emphasize pirates, because people that said this were acting like the pirates were the only reason that Nintendo could basically have games to sell. But then, years later, when people hacked the NES Mini, none of its ROMs had the one header, and all of its ROMs have unique IDs that don't tie to other known ROMs, meaning the NES Mini has exclusive ROMs that have never been seen anywhere else, since no one could match those IDs to any RIP across the internet, meaning Nintendo specifically obviously had extra ROMs if they can put these never before seen ROMs in the NES Mini. But I'm starting to ramble. I just think this question and topic are super interesting because a lot of people continue to act like Nintendo sold stolen ROMs, but it seems like the person and or people involved in getting emulation working in Animal Crossing just ran off with a bunch of ROMs Nintendo had and then uploaded those ROMs to the internet because at the time those would have been really good clean ROMs since they were from Nintendo directly. And years later, knowing that the NES Mini has unique ROMs that have never been seen anywhere else basically means Nintendo obviously had other ROMs and backups, and they went in and modified a lot of the ROMs on the NES Mini, meaning they have the source code, because it's harder to completely recompile or decompile or fix up a random ROM that's a rip from a retail game because you can't go in and tweak stuff, and yet those are modified in a way that basically shows Nintendo still had the source code and stuff kicking around, but I'm starting to ramble. You can leave your thoughts, opinions, and answers in the comments, or you can leave them on social media. All of my social media links, as well as my Discord links, are in the video description. Now, as always, I need to be a shill for a minute. If you subscribe to the channel, and if you follow me on social media, that really helps our communities grow. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I hope I will see you all next time. So, as always, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, everybody. I hope you come back someday. See you later.